Okay. All right. Is it recording? Yeah, okay. Okay, back at the shop. This thing leaked oil all over the trailer. We're gonna pop the diaper off of it real fast and take a peek up in there and see what we got. Gonna get the splatter shields. Parts catcher.
Say watch your head.
So let me get this in a better position. There we go, okay. Well, that explains why there's oil covering the whole trailer floor.
Yeah.
I think this diaper's seen the end of its days.
You never know. Just take it over to the car wash, the laundromat next door.
Oh, that blew out right by the oil filter.
Man, the oil filter always takes the most abuse. But it's not the rod we thought it was. It had to be 7 or 8.
I'm gonna guess it's probably 7.
Yeah, I mean, we got both sides, so it's hard to tell exactly.
Well, with as forward as it is. Okay, let's get a film on it. So, rod bolt probably backed out, so that might be installer error, because I put the rod bolts in it. So either I missed the stretch point on it, or
You confirmed torque twice.
yeah, well, evidence is pretty clear. Yeah, so rod bolt. Oh man, it stays. I should have used the other one. This one's gonna make a mess. Will it just stay like that now if we don't touch it again? Okay. So it looks like it broke the rod bolt, and then it tried to hold on, and then yeah, this one held on as long as it could, and then it just popped the head of it off. Man, those bolts didn't have that many runs on them. All right, let's roll this thing back out from underneath the car for a second. The block's trashed. Yeah, the wrist pin area beat up the side of the wall. pretty damn bad on the bottom of the bore. So yeah, the block's bad. Crank took some big hits. It's bad. Oil pump took some big hits. It's not separated anywhere. It might actually live. It didn't drop a valve, at least. Valves are probably bent on that hole. Camshaft had to have gotten hit. Both sides of the block are destroyed right by the cam.
It doesn't, can't see a mark, but fuck, we don't know nothing until it comes apart.
Well, that looks pretty bad. Bad back, bad block, bad crank are worst case scenarios. And that's both right there. So whole new short block. Got some good backup rods and some good standard pistons. But that's about it. Man. Well, that's it on that one. See if I can come up with a game plan. That's pretty bad. Thinking while I was washing my hands, I don't think it was a rod bolt failure. I think we did compress the rod. I think that we compressed the rod, bent it, twisted it. That helped it to rip the wrist pin out of the piston. And then once you had all this thing flopping around hitting stuff, it really had no choice but to try to break the bolts off the block. Because it did do it at a pretty high RPM. And it took me a few seconds to gain control of the car because there was a little bit of oil onto the tire. Not maybe. I mean, it moved around a little bit and it shut down. So it did take me a second to get it into neutral, get it off. So I was just trying to think.
The other part too is if it was rod bolt failure, the rod would have been yeeted most of the way up, and even the catchback, it wouldn't have.
Well, I think because we have had a rod bolt failure on the other motor, the old big block, and it put the rod into the oil pan rail, and then the crank chopped it in half. And we don't have that mark this time. So.
Or the oil pan. I mean, the oil pump either just barely took a nick.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm pretty confident we just overpowered this rod, or there's something we were going with number 8. Number 8 is the one we yeeted a rod on the dyno last year. And we thought it was the Holley V6 Built 300 because we could see it misfiring. But this go around, we had no signs of like flame coming out of that hole when it did it because it was pretty prevalent when we did it last time. Yeah, I don't know. I know I've got some EGT sensors that are very smooth, and a couple of them have been kind of noisy. And maybe they're not noisy. Maybe it's something going on with the ignition system or the Holley. Well, put my thinking cap on and figure out how we can put this thing back together. I don't know how I'm gonna put it back together yet. I think I'm gonna have to find a short block. I think I'm gonna have to find one assembled because my other one, I've got spare parts, but they've got a lot of runs on them. And although I think I have pretty new rod bolts for it, I mean, the rods have a lot of passes, and I'm really concerned that
We'll just be doing it right over again.
Well, I mean, I guess I failed one rod. I have one brand new rod for the other motor. Then I got 7 rods with less passes right here. Okay, end of a long day. Got a lot of stuff caught up at the shop. Made some good progress on customer things, tunes, scheduling, relations, things like that. Eric, James, and Brandon got the motor out. We salvaged what parts we could, which wasn't a whole lot. We also dug out my old big block big M motor here. So this guy's 45 over. She's been freshened up a few times, and we had a new set of pistons and rings and block with fresh work on it, ready to go, with some older steel rods and older crankshaft that I really didn't trust around the Pro Charger. So the machinist luckily had a crankshaft in stock. He's got more steel rods in stock, but he says no. So today, Megan made a post on Facebook about trying to find me aluminum rods, and I can't even begin to explain the support we had in finding rods for this thing. We actually got really lucky, and she was able to drive 3 hours south to Wichita to pick up rods from 2M Motorsports, and that's awesome. So, but like Lance Carnegie reached out, Dean Kearns reached out, Jeff Lutz reached out, Shannon Morgan reached out, Eric Malone reached out. I mean, a lot of people had the rods that we were looking for, thank goodness. So, which is a beefed up aluminum rod, something stronger than your standard 2,500 horsepower rod you find on a lot of the shelves. And it was nice to be able to see that we could have gotten them from a couple of different places, and that was nice. So we've got rods, got a crank, we got pistons, got rings. We found the camshaft got hurt. We found a used camshaft stock, or same core size, 4.7 swap, extremely similar cam specs, just a tiny bit bigger duration, like 6 degrees bigger duration on the exhaust side. Heads are kind of messed up, got a lot of debris. One cylinder on each side got a lot of debris. I didn't get any film of that. I think Eric took some pictures. So we'll insert those here if we have them. What else? Let's see. Got a new oil pan. It was in stock at Summit. So was the oil pump. Luckily, I had most of the gaskets we needed here already, because every time I use them, I've been ordering a set to replace them, and that's really paid off, because this time head gaskets were not in stock. And although I could probably reuse these head gaskets, I just don't like to reuse head gaskets if I don't have to. So we run a solid head gasket. Since we don't have water cooling in the heads, so they're solid heads, why not use more copper to help keep the bore square or round, not distorted. So yeah, tonight's Tuesday night. I was gonna file fit rings, put them in the motor. Got everything organized to start doing that. Realized that I'm a dummy, and I sent the rings with my pistons to the machinist this afternoon, and then I'm gonna run the rods that Megan's getting back home with really soon here. I'm gonna run all those over so we can start balancing the crankshaft in the morning. So I don't have rings here to file fit, so I probably gonna clean and organize a little bit in preparation. And tomorrow, in between tunes, I will probably start figuring out ring gap, and I'm able to get one of my guys to file fit rings. So I ended up splurging and our local parts warehouse had electric ring filers on sale. So just to make it time. So I'll have him do that. And he's very meticulous. So it'll be nice and slow and accurate. Not really slow, just done well. But not as fast as the machine shop could, because they do it all the time. So let's see, we got to do torque converter. I want to change stator in that. I'd love to change the rear gear in the car, but obviously there's no reason to do that if I don't have that thing powering all that stuff there to do that down there. I mean, I was pretty much ready to throw in the towel. Megan really just wouldn't let me say that. So she kept telling me I was dumb and she would divorce me or something crazy. She'll probably insert some thought bubble here saying how, you know, she's the best person in the world, because she is. And because I wanted to get Elvira done. So I can't really let it down because I've got an engine hoist in the way. But we've got the 388 in that now. The guys did that while I had the car in North Carolina, and they had a day of work last week. So they got the 388 set in there, and we got to modify the core support for the radiator because I want to make room for the charge pipe, because that engine bay is so tight. It was everything I could do to fit a 3.5-inch charge pipe in there last time. Well, this time I'm putting bigger cooling fans in. They're thicker and they're kind of in the way of the charge pipe, and the way the intake is back and down more, it's making it a little bit harder to get a charge pipe to it. So I really want to get the radiator forward a couple inches, give me some breathing room, make some room for some twins later. But it's so close, and that was my backup plan. So I was going to go to War in the Woods with Elvira, and we thought about putting the 388 right back out of that into this with a set of twins. But realistically, running the LS on twin turbo, pretty much full tilt bogey, like 1900 horsepower, we were going to be lighter about 175 pounds, since that one's a Dart 6-bolt motor and not an aluminum 5.3. We would have been 175 lighter up here. I probably could have pulled an easy 50 to 60 off the rear of the car, and with that weight brake and 1900 horsepower, it was gonna only run about as stout as this does with the 121. And well, the 121 without like full timing, and we're pushing it really much, stuff like that. So if I was racing myself, I feel it'd be really easy for me to overcome my turbo version of myself with the LS. So with that in mind, and then with a glimmer of hope of finding a camshaft today, once we found, which came through connection through Jason Horde, and then to his engine guy, Dusty. So that was awesome. We were able to find a suitable replacement for this guy, which got a couple of nicks on these lobes here, which, to be honest, I was probably going to hit with a flat file and kind of take some of the high edges down and kind of chance it. But I mean, it'd be bad. Break a camshaft or shatter a lifter, and then, I mean, that could be, I mean, that's blocked back out. Bushing put in for the lifter bore. I mean, that was gonna be some damage. So it's best I shouldn't do that. I should be nice to these parts. And so we're gonna, I mean, luckily we got a couple new things going in. My lifters happened to show up for the big block, so luckily Crowder wasn't truly 5 weeks behind. They were only like 2. So we got new lifters while we're out of town. So this motor will be pretty much all brand new except for the RCD timing set and the cylinder heads and valves. Some of the valves have to get replaced. So yeah, it'll be fresh, be a little bit bigger. I'm really excited for the aluminum rods. So I know that we're gonna have to change them, but to be honest, every 80 to 100 runs, really, this thing needs to get head gaskets, probably valve springs, and it's probably a bad idea to go and put bearings in it and rod bolts. So if I'm gonna do rod bolts, I might as well just do rods. So rod bolts are, I feel like 60, 70% of the cost of the rod sometimes. So all in all, I feel pretty good. I feel like we're making, I feel like I could make better progress if I had rings here, if I went to doofus and sent him to the machine shop, even though he said he didn't need rings. And I was like, oh, he probably needs the rings just to make sure the weight's perfect. So I'm a dummy. I'm a dummy. So, but I'm now a more prepared dummy. So that's good. That's a plus. So tomorrow will be thrash night, and hopefully I have the crankshaft tomorrow. If not, I'll at least have the rings tomorrow so I can get that part done. But I really hope I have the crankshaft tomorrow. If I have the crankshaft tomorrow, then I'll have a short block tomorrow. And then if they have the heads done the next day, then I'll have a long block on Thursday. And then Thursday night, I can do the long block or get the heads on it, which takes a while, kind of sucks. And then putting it in the car is the easy part. So actually getting it in here, if I got me and one other person, is like an 1.5 to 2 hour job. So I think I'll have help. I think Eric's gonna help as he can, and then I may get help from another friend, and that'll be good to get us to the finish line for getting ready for this weekend. Whole trailer, I didn't even get to clean it out. I put some absorbent mat down on all the oil in there, but it's still pretty freaking nasty. It's a big oil slick. Wasn't a whole lot of motor oil left in it, so it didn't really make much of a mess. So that was kind of a plus. Just lots of little itty bitty aluminum pieces going everywhere. But it was nice to just throw that old oil pan in the trash. That thing is taking 2 rods now. So I just threw that big old rattle trap away. But yeah, I think all in all, I think we're on target. I mean, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday night. You know, got a night and a half. Nightly recap. But we're not done yet tonight. It is what, like 10:30, 11 o'clock? Late. It's already kind of late. But we got some exciting news. Those pistons aren't just floating there, they're attached. They are touching something. And Eric, I kind of crop dusted you. I'm sorry. Ty got his pizza. I'm actually lactose intolerant, so pizza's good though. Yeah, so we got slugs in the motor. We got rods in the motor, and they ain't steel.
Yeah, for those people that say we need aluminum rods, there we go.
We did it. We did aluminum rods. Congratulations. They're in. Next is my infamous RCD cam drive step. I'm gonna try to do that tonight, and then I'm probably gonna call it quits. So I better wake up. Ty over here is covered in bearing material.
That was fun.
His job was to fillet the bearings. Get a little chamfer to them. So match up with the crankshaft okay. Don't touch. No touchy.
They go clack clack.
They go, yeah, the rods go clack clack next to each other. Before we didn't, we shaved a little bit off the bearing, but didn't get enough off the bearing. And that caused there not to be enough clack clack distance in between the rods on the journal. So need 20 to 60 thou and we had about 8, but now we got about 24. So that's pretty cool. Oy, gotta get a water, gotta stay hydrated. So anyways, that is where we're at right this second. Yeah, my goal is to get the camshaft in, front cover on, stuff like that. And then the heads needed a seat replaced, one other seat cut, a guide replaced, I think 2 valves. So I don't have those back yet. They'll be back soon. Tomorrow's Thursday. Driver's meeting's at 2 p.m. on Friday. We are 8.5 hours away before gas stops. And we still gotta get this together in here. So, but we're making good progress. I mean, today we did rings. I tuned like 5 cars. We got pistons hung on rods. Some of them were backwards at first. It's okay. Got that all switched around. Love you, spiral locks. Not really. So, but yeah, we're trucking along. So we really don't have too many things and parts that could stop us now. So, what?
I gotta say something.
I mean, as long as my oil comes in tomorrow, we'll be in really good shape.
If not.
Closer. It's about 1:30 in the morning. I got my belly out because I drank a pop, so it makes me bloated. Cam's timed, our temporary cam that we're going to use, nitrous cam. It's got a little hefty on the exhaust duration, pretty hefty on the exhaust lift as well. So when we degreed it in there, it didn't quite have as much intake duration as what the cam card showed, or I'm sorry, intake lift. Duration was dead on what the cam chart showed, but the lift, the load lift was not. So we're gonna lose like 50 thou low or valve tip lift on the intake side. Might hurt, might not. So we should have a replacement cam from Mueller here pretty soon. So he's going through his vendors to see who can get us one quickly, and hopefully get back in our LS firing order. And yeah, we got the oil pump on. Oil pan clears, which I mean it should. It's a big ass stroker pan. Kind of nice to get into a new updated pan of what I used to run. So this is the same part number pan I used to have on the car. But this one has improvements in it, like some extra reinforcing right here, billet front and rear end caps, and then dual drain plugs so I can drain the sump area in front of the baffle and then the rear sump area. So that's kind of nice. And they're AN plugs, so instead of the half 20 thread that doesn't last very long. So that'll make maintenance a little easier. Got a little cutout here that we didn't have before. Don't quite know what it's for, but it's there. So tomorrow we should have cylinder heads back in the morning, and then I can have my guys start throwing the heads on, and then we'll get the valve train set, get the intake on and glued down. Probably get about 6-7 hours dry time on the intake glue before it's in the car and fired up. And as long as it's got oil pressure, no weird sounds, we'll drain the oil in it and fire it back up, and probably put on the brake to set the rings, and then load up the trailer and go racing. So no test passes, and we'll just drive 8 hours over to War in the Woods and get after it. So I know there's a 50% chance of rain right now on Saturday for War in the Woods. Hopefully that kind of stays out of the way. I really don't want to have this rain out, but can't control Mother Nature. So that's it for tonight. So tomorrow, got quite a bit on the dyno to get done. Quite a few customer things I need to get done still. And then this bad boy can get in the car. So I think we're pretty well on pace. So we got most of our parts ready to rock, ready to go on the motor. So I think we'll be in pretty good shape. Yeah. So, all right, I'm out of here. Logan?
Hi.
Hello. Ah.
Let me come inside your car.
Come here.
We play a game.
You want to play a game?
Play mine.
We'll go get food after.
You want one of these?
Nah.
It's a French fry, but round.
We don't like Mama.
Someone in the bathroom.
Ember is.
We going to graduate car.
Yeah. Yeah. You can tell me if we're going to be ready or not.
We're ready.
We're ready?
Yeah.
You haven't even seen. Go see. Are we ready?
Whoa.
It doesn't. That expression doesn't sound like we're ready.
Whoa. You see that car?
Yeah.
And your car.
Yeah.
What happened?
Daddy blew it up trying to go super fast.
Because you use some pieces.
Yeah, I needed some pieces. Did you help Mama go get me those pieces?
That motor?
That's the motor. That's what you guys went and got parts for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
You want to see Mama's car?
yeah.
It's right here. Look up. Right there.
What happened?
Yeah, what happened?
Daddy's putting a really nice motor in it. That's what happened.
Daddy's on a winning streak.
Hey, two race entries, 2 motors. I don't know people with win records that good.
You missed that one.
Oh, I heard you.
What's that, Daddy?
Those are tires.
No, this.
Oh, that's a chair.
We sit in there.
If you want to.
And you put me.
Okay.
How will I go round and round?
Hello again.
Watch your head.
I don't think race.
Good job. One o'clock, lunchtime, heads are on. Valtrain's about to go in. We got big rain chances for Saturday night. 70% chance of an inch. Sounds like Jeff Thomas might be running this race all the way through Friday night.
Oh, me, I got
That means we all will be team no sleep. We'll have the motor. Well, we got, most of us got a few hours sleep last night. I got like 3. Other parties got a little bit more. What you doing? She's up front, buddy. She's up front. Hopefully have the motor in the car. Hopefully be in the trailer by like 9, 10 o'clock tonight. And then we'll start our 8.5 hour drive to Warren Woods.
That's your red car?
That is. That's Daddy's race car.
Tell me where to click. We'll start over here.
And then we'll be racing all night long with probably 6 to 7 rounds of competition. Woo!
Me small. Me small, huh?
Yeah, you small.
Cause you can hit my head.
You can't hit your head up there. I can though.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Just go on.
Okay. Go under.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Me small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's very game.
Yeah, we play a game while we eat lunch. And hopefully next video clip is us going some rounds.
We sitting here.
Big Mama.
I'm not going.
We sitting here.
The truck's really rough on her. And then we're not gonna have any sleeper time for her to rest. So
It's okay.
it's a bummer.
It
I
is.
know.
It is a bummer. Big bummer. This is one of the events she was looking forward to the most this year so far.
Hey, where's mine? Where's mine?
On that note,
Where's mine?
Where's yours? What?
we're out.
Mine.
Your what?